The Greater Boston Sickle Cell Disease Association is a local nonprofit organization dedicated to advocating for and providing support services to patients and families facing the challenges associated with this disease. Their goals are to give persons living with sickle cell disease a chance to live healthier and more productive lives and to promote awareness in the community. The organization was founded in 1995 due to the lack of sickle cell awareness and support services and programs available for families affected in our region. Today they join us as we welcome Dr. Patricia Kavanagh, Board Chair and Assistant Professor of Pediatrics at Boston University School of Medicine, and Carissa Juarez, a patient ambassador and parent of a child living with sickle cell disease. Welcome to Urban Update. Thanks for coming in. Dr. Kavanagh, let me start with you by giving our viewers sort of a layman's overview of what sickle cell disease is.
So sickle cell disease affects approximately 100,000 people in the United States. It actually is a condition that affects the red blood cell, whose job is to deliver oxygen throughout the body. It starts off in the lung, goes to the body, drops off the oxygen, and comes back. In the red blood cell is a molecule called hemoglobin. In sickle cell disease, it's that molecule that's affected. And so when it goes to the lung, picks up the oxygen, goes to the body to drop it off, it changes its shape. Usually a red blood cell looks like a donut. In sickle cell disease, when it drops off the oxygen, it actually changes its shape to look like a crescent moon or a sickle. That sickle shape doesn't get through your blood vessels very well and causes damage and chronic inflammation, which can lead to strokes, both in children as well as adults. It can lead to complications in your lungs that can be very life-threatening to these individuals. But I think the thing that it's most, unfortunately, well known for is pain. And it can affect children as young as 6 months of age, all the way through adulthood. A third of adults live with pain every day.
Carissa, you as a parent of a child with the disease, talk to me about how this affects your family and some of the challenges that you have.
So it's hard because we're constantly in and out of the hospital with pain, and it's kind of hard to manage the pain at home sometimes, and we have to go into the hospital to get medication as morphine and stuff like that. That is higher than what we can give them at home, and they need to be monitored in the hospital with IV pain medication.
And again, we're talking about your son, daughter?
My daughter,
your daughter.
Carissa.
How old is she?
She's 5 years old.
5 years old. Must be tough to watch that.
It is. It's very tough. It's very overwhelming because you feel like you can't do anything to help her out when she's going through it.
Dr. Kavanagh, we've always heard that sickle cell disease affects African Americans more than the general population at a higher rate. Why so?
So they think that it's due to the fact that, so sickle cell disease is an inherited condition. So each of your parents have to have something called a trait. And so if you only have sickle cell trait, they think it's protective against malaria. And so the one thing I wanted to caution us about is that sickle cell disease is most common in African Americans. However, it's common wherever you would see malaria. So that would include India. And also with the spread with trade and also unfortunately the slave trade, you can see a lot of sickle cell in Greece, Italy, Brazil, and the Caribbean, as well as African Americans in the United States.
Now, Carissa, you had a little bit of good news here. You've been able to treat the disease and minimize its impact, have you not?
Yes, actually. Jalisa has started medication, hydroxyurea, and since she has started this medication, she's been not in the hospital as frequently as she was before, being admitted. She's not having as many pain crises as she was in the past. It's actually been helping her out more better now than before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Kavanagh, talk to me about some of the current activities being held by the Greater Boston Sickle Cell Disease Association that addresses the needs of patients.
So I think the key activities that we do currently is really we are strong advocates for individuals living with sickle cell disease. So with the opioid epidemic and the laws that have been put into place, we really have been very active with our legislatures to make sure it's not impacting individuals with sickle cell. The other thing we do is is we actually work in schools as well. These children miss school a lot. And to that end, we actually are really proud of our scholarship program, and so that we are helping children who are graduating high school go to college, become successful adults living with this condition.
Carissa, you've got a walk coming up on September 17th?
Correct, yes. I want everyone to possibly go out there if you can. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a walk around Franklin Park. We're going to have lots of activities for the children. A lot of things going on that day.
And very quickly to wrap up here, Doctor, are we making strides? Are we making any improvements in fighting sickle cell? And also, where can our viewers find more information about all of this?
So we are making strides. So Carissa had actually mentioned hydroxyurea as one thing that we have in our arsenal, but we also are looking at bone marrow transplant and gene therapy. Bluebird Bio here in Cambridge is actually leading that charge. And so to find more information, go to www.gbscda.org or go to our Facebook page, Greater Boston Sickle Cell Disease Association.
Okay, thank you very much. That'll do it. Dr. Patricia Kavanagh and Carissa Juarez, good luck with the health of your daughter, Carissa. Okay, when we return, the man who is followed on Twitter by hundreds of thousands. You meet them, the man of Boston Tweet, coming up right here on Urban Update.